What's up, Trin?
Hi.
Happy belated.
Thank you.
You guys good?
Good to go.
All right, that
It's
was a
really
long
windy
road
today.
trip. What's it like to be back home? Obviously, being away for so long, does that kind of bring a team closer together in a sense?
Yeah, closer together and sick of each other. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think the road trip is always like a good opportunity to experience different places, different things, and then obviously being on the road together for a long time, you have to find ways to entertain yourselves and also not get sick of each other because we're together 24/7. So I think the trip went great. Obviously not the result in the end that we wanted, but we're proud of what we did and how many minutes we all played because it was a grind.
How would you assess the form of this club right now? Because obviously, I think you're playing pretty much some good soccer right now.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think we experienced some obstacles in the past few games that we need to kind of get over, and I'm glad we're experiencing them now. So we're not waiting until playoffs to go through this. So we're in great form. I think we're on the front foot, but we just need to continue to be on that front foot and score goals.
Back home on Saturday at Audi against Seattle, a team you beat a couple of weeks ago. Last game before the international break. Obviously, an important game to get a win here before the break.
Yeah, it's huge, especially playing a team a couple weeks apart. I think is a unique situation, and kind of having a very fast scouting report turnaround. I think is good for us to have that feeling still in us of playing them and knowing the things that we need to get better at, and just certain things that we need to tweak from the last time we played them.
Going into the game actually, you've done a lot about talking about the positivity that you want to bring as a teammate and as a player. And we talked about this when you talked about the internationals when you're playing. How is it blessing seeing it now, seeing it actually be applied? You know, we talk about it all the time, and just seeing that take form and shape throughout all your road trips and all that. How's that feel for you?
It's huge, and even the internationals, the ones that don't even speak English as much, like Claudia, we're seeing her even come out of her shell a little bit more and smile more and celebrate her goals, which I think is amazing. I love being that player that can bring people together, and also having so many different personalities on this team. I think we amplify each other's brilliance, and it's just been amazing to watch and be a part of, and I hope we continue to win on top of having fun.
You talked about we've talked about a little bit of the espresso coming back on the U.S. Women's National Team, but it's triple espresso is going to be back for the first time in a very long time. Just your thoughts on that? I know you're probably excited.
Yippee! No, I'm really excited. To think it's been almost 2 years since we've all played together is wild to think about. It does feel like that, though. It feels like forever, and just not only being back, but like all of us being in good form, I think, and healthy has been huge. Them coming back from having children and scoring right off the gate, I think, is insane, and kudos to them for doing an amazing job. But again, it's going to take us time to get back into our rhythm of playing together because it's been so long. But again, our relationship off the field makes it so much easier to mesh on the field. So I'm just very excited to see them and play with them again.
You guys have been in multiple finals appearances over the past couple of seasons, and obviously they haven't gone your way, but this is the first time you guys have been able to kind of jump back into a season right after a finals appearance. How do you feel like that's going to benefit that you guys get a chance to kind of right the wrongs and right the ship of not being able to finish the job in the CONCACAF?
I think obviously it sucks losing again, and that's something that we need to overcome, and that was a crazy scoreline, crazy game, but again, it gives us different challenges, and I think you have to view every game differently. You can't rack up the losses. I think that's a horrible way to look at it, but at the same time, I think we still have that anger of wanting to prove people wrong and to do better than we have before, so it's nice to have that under our belt, and now continue to just improve.
And then you talked about teammates amplifying each other's brilliance, and it seemed like there was a good stretch where you were very involved in the game in some of the Orlando and like the games earlier on, a little less so in the final. What do you feel like are the main things that you can improve on as far as your role in the team to sort of stay connected with teammates on the field going forward?
Yeah, I think not getting too emotional in games. I think that's obviously what makes me is that feistiness that I have sometimes, but at the same time, I think in moments where you need to calm down a little bit and organize, when it's chaotic back and forth scoring, it's important to be level-headed in those moments, which I still obviously need to work on, and I'm aware of that. But for me, it's just keeping a good head on my shoulders and being composed in moments where a lot of people can't be, or a lot of people are high energy because we do want to score. So just finding the right balance between that.
And obviously a very busy stretch here, already done, but still ahead for you with the national team call-up, which congrats.
Thank you.
But how are you planning on sort of using the month away from the club, either with the national team or away from both teams, to kind of recharge yourself for the second half of the season?
Yeah, I think it's always cool to end like having the last week before break being international. I think it's really cool to experience that, and going to Brazil is a whole experience and kind of a pre-World Cup feeling of trying to make it as similar as we can to that experience, so that players that haven't been in a situation like that can now feel it, and then we can kind of get that competitive feeling back. And yeah, I think Brazil's an amazing opponent, and to hopefully get wins in those games to send us off into a much needed break, because this beginning season has been overloaded, especially for our team. So yeah, I think it's going to be good vibes, and I'm excited to be with my national teamers before we go.
Last one. Yeah. So one thing also I wanted to speak about is this idea of flow, and you've been talking about this. Your teammates have had new opportunities to score and go that distance. And I know even with the coach, you guys all talk about that standard of wanting to go beyond that next level. How great is it to also see a flow in others, and just being able to see that kind of catalyst in each other, and not just you being that better teammate, but everyone in the world being a great teammate all around?
Yeah, no, I've always said that it's amazing to do great, but you don't want one person to be a star on the team, and I never considered myself that person. So to have a lot of goal scorers and a lot of big presence that help us win games is huge, and you're seeing it in these moments that they're able to step up and have big tackles, not only goals, like these big moments that everybody has. I think in one of the CONCACAF games, Paige came in as a sub and she had like 5 tackles right off the gate. So I think those important moments are huge for our team, and I don't view Washington Spirit as having one star at all. I think we're all stars, and everyone's excited to watch every single player on the field.
Thanks, Trent.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Trin.
Yeah, thanks.